You wake up every morning to the sound of an alarm that interrupts something ancient. Your body was built for sunrise, for hunger that means something, for movement that has purpose. But you wake instead to artificial light, to a screen glowing with obligations your ancestors could never have imagined, to a life that asks you to sit still while everything inside you was designed to run. Your heart beats the same way it did 10,000 years ago, but now it beats in traffic, in fluorescent offices, in the endless scroll of other people's curated lives. You are an ancient body trapped in a modern cage, and every cell inside you is screaming a language you have forgotten how to hear. This is not a metaphor. This is biology meeting tragedy, and you are standing at the intersection where evolution failed to prepare you for the world you built. The human body is a museum of deep time. Every part of you is a compromise written over millions of years, each system calibrated for a world that no longer exists. Your stress response was forged in savannas where danger had teeth and ended quickly, where cortisol flooded your veins to help you fight or flee, then faded when the threat passed. But now, the threat never passes. Your boss's email triggers the same cascade of hormones that once saved you from predators, except there is no lion to outrun, no resolution, no rest. Your body mobilizes for a war that never comes, and the battlefield is your own biology. Day after day, your ancient alarm system fires at shadows, at deadlines, at the quiet terror of not being enough in a world that measures worth in productivity. Your adrenal glands exhaust themselves preparing you for emergencies that are never physical, and your immune system, confused by the constant state of high alert, begins to attack the very body it was meant to protect. You were not built for chairs. Your spine curves in ways that made sense when you squatted to gather food, when you walked 20,000 steps a day, not for exercise, but for survival. Your muscles were meant to carry weight, to climb, to build, to move with purpose through a landscape that demanded everything from you. Now, you sit. You sit for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, your hip flexors tightening, your glutes forgetting their function, your neck craning forward towards screens that pull your skeleton out of alignment 1 degree at a time. The pain you feel is not weakness. It is your body trying to tell you that it was not designed for this shape, this stillness, this slow petrification into furniture. And yet you return to the chair every day because this is what survival looks like now. This is the price of participating in a civilization that forgot the body has limits. Your brain is the cruelest irony of all. 3 pounds of electric meat that evolved to solve immediate problems, to find food, to recognize faces, to navigate social hierarchies small enough to know every member by name. But you do not live in a tribe of 150 people anymore. You live in a world of billions, where your phone connects you to more humans in an hour than your ancestors met in a lifetime, and your brain does not know how to process this. It still treats every notification like urgent news from your clan, every stranger's opinion like a threat to your reputation, every comparison like a real assessment of your survival value. You scroll through lives more beautiful than yours, bodies more perfect than yours, successes more complete than yours, and your ancient brain, designed to keep you safe through social cohesion, interprets this not as information but as evidence of your inadequacy. You feel lonely in a crowd of millions because your neurology cannot scale. It still aches for the campfire, for faces lit by flame, for voices you know so well you can hear their meaning beneath their words. Do you ever feel like consciousness was never meant to exist? Right, I've felt it too, if you understand. Because here is the thing they do not tell you about being human. Consciousness itself might be evolution's most beautiful mistake, the moment awareness became sharp enough to see its own condition and realized it was trapped. You are aware that you are aware, and this recursive loop of self-reflection has turned existence into a problem that cannot be solved. Animals live. Humans live, and know they are living, and know they will stop living, and this knowledge colors everything. You cannot eat without remembering you will hunger again. You cannot love without knowing loss is inevitable. You cannot rest without guilt, because productivity has become the measure of worth, and your ancient body, designed for cyclical effort and rest, now exists in a culture that valorizes constant output. Your sleep is broken because your bedroom glows with blue light that tells your pineal gland the sun has not set, that danger might still be near, that melatonin should wait. Your circadian rhythm, calibrated over eons to the rise and fall of daylight, now stumbles through artificial brightness that extends your day into night. You lie awake at 2 in the morning, and your mind races with concerns that would have seemed absurd to your ancestors. You worry about your performance review, about your social media presence, about whether you are living up to potential that was never meant to be limitless. Your hunter-gatherer body expected seasons of feast and famine, of effort and rest, of danger and safety. But modern life is all feast and all famine at once. Abundance of food, but scarcity of meaning. Constant stimulation, but starvation of purpose. The food itself betrays you. Your taste buds evolved to seek out rare calories, to crave fat and sugar because they were scarce and precious. But now those cravings fire in a world where sweetness is cheap and everywhere, engineered by food scientists who understand your biology better than you do. They have hacked your reward system, turned your survival instincts against you. You eat not because you are hungry, but because dopamine is a currency your brain will trade anything to obtain, and ultra-processed food delivers it faster than any berry your ancestors could have found. Your gut microbiome, that ancient ecosystem of bacteria that co-evolved with you over millions of years, starves for fiber, while you feed it substances it has no evolutionary context for. The inflammation that follows is not a disease. It is your body's confusion, its desperate attempt to process modernity through biology that expected only nature. And the loneliness, the unbearable, pervasive loneliness of living in a world connected by wires but not by presence. Your oxytocin system was designed to bond you to a small group through physical proximity, through touch, through shared labor and shared meals. But you live now in isolated boxes, interacting through glass, performing connection rather than feeling it. You can message 100 people and still feel unseen because your nervous system does not register text as tribe. It needs warmth, eye contact, the sound of laughter not mediated by speakers, the physical presence of bodies that prove you are not alone. You are surrounded by people and dying of a hunger that has no name because evolution did not prepare you for a loneliness this profound in a world this connected. This is the paradox that defines you. You are the most technologically advanced species that has ever existed, and you are suffering in ways your ancestors could not have imagined. Not because you are weak, but because you are ancient, and the world you built moved faster than your biology could follow. You are a Paleolithic body in a digital world, and the mismatch is not a flaw in you. It is the tragedy of being human in this particular moment of history. You feel broken because you are not optimized for this life, and you were never meant to be. Your anxiety is not irrational. It is your body trying to survive conditions it was never designed for. Your depression is not weakness. It is the exhaustion of an organism asked to thrive in an environment that violates every principle of its construction. But here is the dark beauty in all of this. Knowing your suffering has a source does not erase it, but it does transform it. You are not failing at being human. You are succeeding at being an ancient body doing its best in an impossible situation. Every moment you endure is an act of biological courage, your cells still trying to keep you alive according to instructions written when the world made sense to them. You are a walking anachronism, and there is something almost sacred in that. You contain within you the entire history of life on Earth, every adaptation, every survival, every ancestor who managed to live long enough to pass their genes forward. And now those genes live in you, confused but persistent, trying to navigate a world they could never have predicted. The modern world is killing your ancient body, yes. But your ancient body is still here, still fighting, still beating your heart 70 times a minute, still repairing your cells while you sleep, still trying to make sense of stimuli it was never meant to process. You are the inheritor of 4 billion years of survival, and you are using that inheritance to survive something your DNA has no map for. That is not a small thing. That is the human condition at its most raw and most beautiful. You are biology meeting consciousness, animal meeting existential dread, flesh trying to make peace with a mind that knows too much. If you see beauty in the darkness of existence, you belong here. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring what it means to be an ancient creature in a world that forgot how to be kind to bodies. We are all just trying to remember what we were before we became this.